Hi there, this is Wanderlust. This is a Nordhavn 47, and today I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour. Now, tours have been done before on these boats so many times, they're a little bit boring, they're all the same. So I thought today we'll do something a little bit different. We're going to go on a power tour. Yeah, so what you say? But it's something I've noticed and a few people have noticed. There's an awful lot of power sockets on this boat, and we're going to go and find them all. And in doing so, we're going to see quite a lot of the boat. So off we go. Wheelhouse or pilot house. Now, here's one. Here's another. Now in the UK, these are called 13 amp power sockets because that's how much amps they can take, and that's the style we're looking for. So we better set a few ground rules actually. Those are what we call single sockets, and you guessed it, this is a double socket. So the single sockets count as 1 point, and the double sockets we're going to count as 2 points. So we are going to count how many available power sockets we have on a 47-foot boat, and the answer might be a little surprising. So the pilot house, we have one here, we have one here, one here, and one here. Now, down the stairs, in this cupboard, we have another double socket. Use that for charging various things up. That's sitting there above the freezer. Now, another rule is when we have a built-in appliance like a freezer or a cooker or a washing machine, tumble dryer, that sort of thing, they don't count because they're fixed appliances. So you would normally be able to use those as a free socket. So we're not going to count those. So far, that's eight sockets. Let's carry on. Walking down into the saloon, we have our washing machine and tumble dryer. They don't count. We have a galley. Here we have a trash compactor, a dishwasher, a cooker, hob, a microwave. And they're all plugged in and they're permanent features, so they don't count. However, looking inside the cupboards, we have a spare socket here. One is used for the microwave, the other is a spare socket, so we can count that. That's one. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's another 7 sockets. Are you keeping count? There we are. That's the current total. So moving on to saloon. We can see there's one double there. There's another double here. And if we do exploration, there's another double there. There's another double. And we'll count these ones too because these aren't fixed appliances as such. We have for the satellite TV and the DVD player, we have another 2. So in the saloon, That's another 5 double sockets. That's 10 more. Hope you're keeping count. Okay, now Wanderlust is a 3-cabin version of the Nordhavn 47. So what would normally be in the front of the boat is a big double, very high ceiling. I mean, you can see I can't actually reach the ceiling, and I'm 6 foot tall. And you have a desk here and double bed that side. But this one has got two cabins. Used to be bunks, but they're being converted. So in here we have a double socket here, and also down here you see that there's another double. That's 4. Now moving to the port side, this has been converted again. This time we have a double bed, 2 more sockets, and like the other side, we have 2 more down here. But here, I mean, you've spotted it, there's a telly. So inside the cupboard, there's another socket. So it's 4 sockets that side, 5 sockets this side. Ahead of the cabins, we have the forward heads. Another double socket. This one is RCD protected, like the ones are on the galley. I'll do the main cabin later. Okay, back in the pilot house. So let's go see what's outside. There are sockets outside. Up to the flybridge. I mean, you do expect one up here, don't you? Surely. You guess by now there's plenty about. Here we are. Another power socket. You're counting. That's another one. This one's useful for charging the battery on the rib. That's where I keep all my cleaning materials. Nothing in there. Well, I thought I'd check. There's not. There's 400 feet of chain. found another one. There we go. Ah, that's the Lazarette. We'll check that out and get to that through the engine room. Well, whilst we're walking back through the saloon, I've got to show you something else. It's quite handy. We have there at the top of the steps, we have the inverter panel, which is really good because when you're watching TV in the evening or sat here at the table, you can see at a glance whether you have shore power and whether or not you're inverting, etc. So that's a very handy place to put it. So this is now currently showing what we are in float charge and we are tied into the mains. Above that, this is the generator panel. I don't know if you see that or not. 271 hours. That's and this boat was commissioned in 2006, so that's 14 years. That's not many hours at all. This is the electrical panel, which is really the heart of all the systems on board. So you can see what we have by just reading the labels. But we have here, this is the 24 volt section. Everything that uses 24 volts is switched here. Then we have a 12 volt section. It's on a separate battery and a separate charger system. And here we have the inverter section. All this is run off the inverter. And below that we have the shore power, or the 240, because we're in the UK, 240 section. And here we have a separate section 240 again for the 5 air conditioning units that we have, and these are selector switches here to choose them. There's an extra panel I put in to control the boiler, because we have a Cabola wet system with fan coil units around the boat, which I installed, and this allows us to, it tells me what's turning the boiler on, whether it's hot water demand, heating demand, frost sensor, or even remote control. We can turn the heating on by a text message, which is really handy. If it's cold and you can't get to the boat, you can switch the heating on and protect the boat that way. And there's thermostats throughout the boat which keep everything at the right temperature should that need arises. So yeah, I just thought we'd show you that on the way past. So let's down to the cabin now and see the cabin and the engine room. Okay, this is the main cabin. Now there's a few in here. There's 2. Two more next to the thermostat. I've looked, but I'm sure there's none in here. Two more. Two more. Two more. And 2 more. Six double sockets in this cabin alone. Okay. Moving on to the heads. Two more. Well, obviously there's none in the shower. That just leaves the engine room. There we are. 2 more. That's all I can see in here. And then through to the Lazarette. So we have 2 more sockets. So that should bring the total, I think, to 55. Oh, once we're down here, we have 2 inverters over there. There's the small blue one on the left for the Kubota boiler. Then we have the 4.5 kilowatts main inverter and charger. That's the Kubota boiler. That's what the 800 watt inverter is for. Then we have a stern thruster, a water maker. And these are all the batteries. Battery panel rather, and all the terminations. So there you have it, an Nordhavn 47 with 55 spare power sockets. How many have you got? Beat that.